At Capgemini, everyone is in the game. We shape a common passion for sports and we build inclusive futures for all on and off the field. In this series, we will be hearing from amazing athletes and inspiring role models how they break stereotypes and overcome challenges in sports and in the workplace. I am Karine Vasselin. I'm leading the group diversity and inclusion agenda. I do para-triathlon myself, and I will be your host. Today, I have the pleasure to be with Adrian from Stonewall and Cemre, a rally car driver from Capgemini. In this episode, we'll learn about dealing with bias and shaping an environment where everyone feels truly welcome, irrespective of their gender identities and sexual orientations. Hello, Adrian. Thanks so much for being part of our series. You lead the Rainbow Laces campaign at Stonewall. Could you tell us how you are driving LGBT plus inclusion in sport?
Stonewall was founded 30 years ago on the back of some harmful legislation, Section 28, which was a piece of legislation which prevented the discussion or prevented people talking about homosexuality, as it was then known, in schools and colleges, which Stonewall successfully overturned. But the legacy from something like Clause 28 is that many LGBTQ plus people still feel unsafe and unwelcome in sport and fitness. So, for example, across Europe, 82% of LGBTQ plus people who take part in sport have experienced or witnessed homophobia, biphobia, and transphobia in the past 12 months. While there's been a sort of significant uptick in visibility in recent years, a lot of queer people still face prejudice across the sporting world. So the Rainbow Laces campaign is one of Stonewall's most successful campaigns. And the purpose of the campaign is to tackle homophobia, biphobia, transphobia in sport. And we work with sporting bodies, organizations, as well as a number of individuals to really work with them to encourage people to lace up in their rainbow laces and to drive a conversation that will help us to stamp out homophobia and biphobia in sport. We work with people at the grassroots level right through to elite sports people. It's been a hugely successful campaign running for 10 years, but there's still a great deal for us to do.
Surely. Hello, Cemre. Rally car racing sounds like such an adventurous sport to us. And I know that you've also played volleyball professionally. Can you tell us more about this amazing and rich journey in sports?
Hello, Karine. Hello. Absolutely. My sporting journey has been quite exciting. I started playing volleyball when I was 12 years old and where I had to find the chance to play professional level. And then it taught me my teamwork and then discipline. And at the same time, I'm coming from the racing family, and I had the chance to race on the rally car, and it's given me the adrenaline rush and technical skill involved. It was incredible. And to be in the racing and playing volleyball, I choose to embrace myself, the true identity. But it's really hard back in my country and moving to Australia after 2019. And there's a more accepting environment, and great that I found myself and continue pursuing my passion about the boat racing, driving, and volleyball.
Thank you. So important, but sometimes so difficult to be your true self. Adrian, what kind of stereotypes do athletes from the LGBT plus community face, especially within a team? And how can we address this?
I think we all know the stereotypes that pervade around LGBTQ plus people. You know, there's this idea that somehow we might not be great at competitive sports for various reasons. There are perceptions around how they might perform in sports. And really, I mean, the best way that we can tackle those, I suppose, is through a conversation. By having those conversations, we can change attitudes. But those stereotypes exist. They've existed for a long time. Things are changing, but it's still very difficult for LGBTQ plus people to feel able to feel their full potential in competitive sports, or even in the gym and in other environments, sport and fitness environments.
Thank you. And what about you, Cemre? As an athlete, what has been your experience racing or even playing volleyball, especially if we compare Turkey versus Australia?
My experience racing and playing volleyball compared to Australia to Turkey, it's like worlds apart. And in Turkey, I often felt that the stereotype in the sport, it makes me uncomfortable. While I'm playing volleyball with my teammates, I wasn't really comfortable to take a shower with them. It makes me think that they will find out my sexuality. They will be judging me. Instead of focusing the sport, I always thinking about what they're gonna find out, if they're gonna talk about me, what they think about me, and then second thing, I'm doing my sport. When I moved to Australia, people not think about. People loves you who you are. They don't think that you're gay, you're straight, or non-binary. They don't think. They just think that you're a person and you're doing the sport. You fully yourself focusing the sport and putting the best game on the court. And today I'm playing volleyball with the LGBT plus Sydney Volleyball Club at University of Sydney. And the part of the community was fantastic. They provide the fully support, the inclusive environment. That feeling I'm having, especially coming from Turkey and Australia, it's really fantastic having that.
And Adrian, Cemre just shared with us how the environment around us is so important. How can we all contribute to a broader acceptance of the LGBT plus community, both on and off the field?
So consider how we can all play our part in making sport everyone's game. And one of the ways that you can do that is simply by starting a conversation about, why those around you should also support the cause. So it's provoking positive, constructive conversations across your communities about LGBTQ plus inclusion, whether that happens in the workplace, in the locker room, in places that you play sport, on the field. And, remembering that every conversation that you have will take us one step closer to creating a better sporting world for queer people, where they feel comfortable to be themselves and to reach their true potential.
Speaking in the context of sports and our discussion, how important do you think it is to have this conversation on inclusion?
It's important because discrimination still exists. If we take the conversation back to sport, LGBTQ plus people can't be themselves, or they find it difficult to be themselves and participate in an aspect of life that for straight cis people, they don't even need to give a second thought. And it's a shame that the conversation is still needed, but it is a necessary one. There are things that queer people, our community can't take for granted. And one of them is feeling safe to participate in sport. So that's why the conversation is needed.
Cemre, among other things, you're also a leader from OUTfront in Capgemini, Australia, OUTfront being our global network. What kind of tip would you like to share with our audience, and especially to someone who would be entering the kind of journey you've been through?
So one important tip I would share with them to be true yourself and to find your community and connect with the others who share the similar experience, right? And can provide the invaluable support. When we find this support behind us, we feel more strong. OUTfront Australia actively works to create a safer environment for LGBT plus individuals, advocacy, event, and partnership. OUTfront is fostering a culture of acceptance and inclusion at all levels. We have seen a lot of process in the past years bringing the gender affirmation policy and natural bathroom, inclusive language. And by raising this awareness and fostering understanding, we can create a more inclusive environment and challenge harmful stereotypes. And in OUTfront, education is the key for meaningful change and promoting acceptance. Change isn't something that happens over the night. The cultural shift is essential, and focusing the education, open dialogue with the colleagues, foster understanding and with the people. And the kind of change can create a lasting impact within the communities, in workplace and the sport.
So thanks so much to both of you, Adrian and Cemre. I'm afraid we are already at the end of this episode, but we learned so much from your inspiring stories and recommendations.